So, after reading all the comments of questioning where can I buy LED taillights, I came up with as many taillight companies as I could, and I'm gonna go over and review them in my own thoughts. So my opinion could be completely wrong. Please take that into consideration because I've never bought any of these products, or am I promoted by those companies. So with that said, if you guys run this company, please don't sue me. And on top of that, hopefully this just gives you an idea of where to look at and what companies to see, and also the price range and stuff like that. And also, is it worth buying from them, or is it worth making, and what products can you buy or make. And hopefully I can go through that for you guys. And yeah, hopefully this helps you out, because I've been getting reoccurring comments of where can I buy LED taillights for my car and with my own design. So hopefully this helps. Let's get started. So for number one, we're gonna start off with Car Shop Glow. These guys are one of my favorite taillights ever, very iconic in Japan. And when I first was looking at the taillights, I didn't understand what LED taillights were. I would look at these guys' car, the FD Arc 7, and it just looks so good. And it's like such an iconic C-shaped design. It's just amazing. I really want one. If I ever win the lottery, I would get an Arc 7 with R Magic or Ariyamiya kit and run these taillights. They look awesome. So if you guys have an RX 7 or looking at taillights, I would suggest you look into these guys. Of course, they're tinted pretty black, and it's just because the LEDs lights are so bright, so they tint them down, and also to hide the seals that they use, which makes sense. And of course, if you're in the US and you don't want to buy from their Japanese website, you can order from Ryze Japan, or you can order from Final Form, which is a Texas site, I believe. And they also sell these guys and many other taillight designs, and they're just middlemen, people that you order from. And yeah, so the price range is around 1,300 up to 2,100 depending on which car you're getting it from and stuff like that. So let's move on to number two. So number two, we're gonna start with ZLEDs. Let's check out his site here. One man army. So this one guy, he does all this stuff. It's really awesome. And let's check out this fax real quick. Let's see how much it costs. So for complete, it can go for 2 to 4K, and for DIY, it can be $300 to $700. So he has a lot of options here. You can go through and understand how things work. He can show you, if you buy the sequential driver by itself for your own custom LED taillights, how to use his programs that he already has made. And he explains how resistors work too. And yeah, this is his Instagram, so we're gonna check this out. So a lot of people use his sequential drivers for their own LED business, and I've noticed that it's pretty quality work, and I'm pretty jealous because he has his own robot soldering all the LEDs for him. So if you have a lot of money, I would suggest you go with this guy. He can make you a complete custom LED tail light that is pre-built from a robot, and that's pretty cool. And with your phone, you can control a bunch of drivers and make it dance and do all sorts of cool stuff. And he can program whatever you want pretty much. So yeah, I suggest you guys check this guy out, and let's move on to the next one. So number three on the list, we have Status LEDs with an S at the end, and here's his Instagram. I guess he utilizes LED strips. They're pretty durable. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, this guy's been around for a while, and I've noticed that even some Formula D drivers has his taillights, and these hatch ones are really cool. I think they're the original design made by him, and they're pretty iconic for back in the day. I remember seeing them way back when. So yeah, this guy's pretty awesome. Check this crash out. This is, wow, crazy, and it still works. Anyways, yeah, he specializes in Nissans, but I think if you message him, he'll probably make you something, even if you don't have a Nissan. There's no price. I don't see anything. He did have a big cartel, but I couldn't find the link, so yeah, pretty cool. Anyways, we should move on to the next one. So the next one we have is a Kinky TRS, and he combines a lot of acrylic overlays to create his designs, which is pretty unique to him. And also sometimes he combines it with infinity mirrors and LED 5mm in between to create the turn signal, and it looks pretty good. He uses it for a lot of cars, so if you have like an MX-5 or Miata, he creates the heart ones, and especially for the FRS. And it seems like a lot of stance guys, they get these taillights, and it looks really good. A lot of Subarus and S2000s and stuff. So all sorts of vehicles, you should check them out. And yeah, on to the next one. So next up we have Ryze Japan. It seems like they're the first one that specialize in the E36 BMW taillights, which is pretty cool because they just cut them up, the 50/50s, and slap them in the C-type, which is very similar to Car Shop Glow. So it looks really good. I really like how they come out with, and also they make the Evos taillights with 5mm LEDs, and also R34 and a few Hondas. And the weird thing is, I was looking at the Final Form website, it seems like they stopped making LED taillights because of lack of interest, which is kind of odd in my opinion, because these E36s, they're used a lot for drifting and a lot for stance too, so weird. I guess this is not one of your options that if you guys trying to buy for E36. I guess you guys are out of luck. Well, anyways, let's move on to the next one. So next on the list we have Luminous Lighting, which does a lot of retrofits for 240SXs and S chassis in general, creating many cool stuff with 5mm LEDs, and also they repair cracked lenses. So if, let's say you have a drift accident or something and you cracked a lens, they can repair it for you. And also they make a bunch of heart taillights and clear lenses for any sorts of cars. So it's pretty cool. You should check them out, and let's move on to the next one. So next up we have Circuit Demon, which seems like they specialize in Subaru headlights with the really cool projector style honeycomb. It looks really cool, and they got a bunch of DIYs, and they have installation kits and installation videos on YouTube that you can follow along. So if you don't want to buy a complete kit from them, you can like buy their products and install it yourself, which is pretty cool. You can save a lot of money and be able to build your own headlight using their products. And also they have taillight options. So yeah, check them out, and let's move on to the next one. So next up we got Master Tuning LED in Russia, and it seems like they specialize in Toyotas, the 4-door sedans and any other kind of sedans. Seems like the 4-door sedans are pretty popular in Russia, so they specialize in that, and also headlight retrofits with the honeycomb style, and combining acrylic with LEDs to create a unique look to each car. So yeah, if you're in Russia, I would check them out if I wanted a specialized LED taillights and headlights and stuff like that. So let's move on to the next one. So next up we got AZRX7. They specialize in basically pre-built boards with LEDs already on it, and basically what you do is it's a DIY, so you follow along with their instructions or video and you install it in your own RX7, R32, or FD3S, and they don't sell it internationally, so that's kind of a downer. But for us US people, we can go ahead and appreciate these guys. They have their own basically computer which uses a 3D printer, and then they have it 3D print out a whole complete board out, and all you do is install it in. That's pretty much it, and let's move on to the next one. Oh yeah, and the price for the AZRX7 kits are $280 to $400, And you gotta remember that that doesn't include the housings for the taillight housings or whatever you're trying to install it in. So just take that into consideration, and let's move on to the next one. So next up we have Shotarock, and he specializes in S chassis, so S13 or 240SX or 180SX, S14, S15, and I believe he makes his own sequencer, which is pretty cool, and he uses RGB color LEDs to have party modes like that going on, and also he also does the regular LEDs, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you have a 240 or 180 and you want to go ahead and get some nice LEDs from Shotarock, go ahead and check them out. Let's move on to the next one. So next up we have Lumisthetic, which is pretty cool because they have complete kits and you have an option to do a DIY go along with their videos. And also they sell clusters and among other things, which is pretty interesting, and it's quite affordable. Their install kits are around $235 to $280, and then their complete taillight for a Honda Civic is $400. So I think this is like the best bang for your buck if you have time and want to follow along with their videos. It's very intuitive, and they have a lot of cool designs to hearts for Miatas to all sorts of stuff. So I would suggest you guys check them out, and let's move on to the next one. So this one, his name is Evil Soleil, and I saw him recently, and I guess he's making taillights for people, so I wanted to show you guys what he's been up to, and looks pretty cool. The heart ones I really like, and all the unique styles that I've never seen before. This guy's coming out of his brain and bringing them out, and it looks great. So I suggest you guys, if you guys want any of his custom designs, please hit him up. I think he's up and coming and pretty amazing. So on to the next one. So we got the last but not least, Mootoo, Baby Gangster. I don't know what happened to him, but he hasn't posted in a while. So basically he's based in Thailand, and they make some crazy taillights going on some crazy Hondas with crazy wide body. And I always enjoyed watching them a few years ago. Well, more than a few years ago, but yeah, it's pretty crazy, and the party modes are nuts. And I'm pretty sure they ran like the VIP scene in Thailand at the time. So yeah, and also besides this, you could buy used secondhand taillights, LEDs from Kruber or Yahoo Auction. And yeah, but the quality, I don't know, they're used, so I mean, if you come across one and you're lucky, it might be good, or you might get one that's cracked. Like my friend Yev, he bought some kooky taillights that are with LEDs in them, and the lenses were cracked when he got them. So it's a hit or miss. And on top of that, we also have Ghost Lighting, which is a LED controller that it's a modulated controller you can buy and install into your custom DIY LED stuff. And yeah, that's about it. See you guys next time.